that a young lady who is married to probably the most successful and certainly one of the most popular performers of our time, who has, among other things, going for him a weekly television show, a very successful recording career, nightclub appearances, and so on. A young lady who also has two children, a family of two. You'd think that she'd have enough things to do with herself, that she wouldn't be competing with her husband. But wonder of wonders, Claudine Longet, and that's Mrs. Andy Williams, has made a record for the A&M people, same people who have the Tijuana Brass, and it could very well be a hit. It's a lovely record, and I'm sure you've heard us play it, and I'll play it again here in a minute. And I have her on the telephone. She's in Hollywood right now. And Claudine, do you prefer to be called by your professional name or by Mrs. Williams?
Well, I don't know. I really haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
You were
Actually, the album is called Claudine,
Claudine.
Longet or Williams.
You were a performer as a youngster, weren't you?
Oh, yes. I did my first play when I was about 9 years old.
Now, was that in Paris or was that here?
Oh, in Paris.
Uh-huh.
No, I've been here only 5 years.
We didn't know that.
Dandy.
Uh-huh. And you were an actress then as a youngster?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Was your family a theatrical family? Were your mother and father performers?
No. My mother is a doctor.
Uh-huh.
And my father makes X-ray machines.
X-ray
It
machine?
has nothing to do with the business.
Well, how in the world did you become a child actress?
Well, I was dancing. I was a ballet dancer for like 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And I was picked for a play in Paris called The Innocents. And it sort of started me. There was a theater. It was quite a hit.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was one thing after another. But singing is brand new. This is my very first thing.
Well, now, when you came to the United States 5 years ago, was that your first visit here?
Yes.
What were you doing here? Why did you come?
Well, I had met Andy in Paris.
Oh.
And it was kind of nice at the time. So when he came back to Paris again, he asked me to come.
Uh-huh.
And asked me to marry him, and we did, and it was about that.
How did you first meet Andy Williams?
At a party in Paris.
Uh-huh.
Very dull party.
It was.
It was the only nice thing about it.
Was it one of those storybook love at first sight kind of things, or did you just think, oh, he's all right, you know?
It was one of those things, love at first sight.
Really? It happened that quick?
It's terrible, but it's true.
Do you mean you knew at that very party that you were going to marry him?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if I was going to marry him, but I knew he was the man for me.
He was something very special.
Yeah. Marrying was his side of the decision to make.
Uh-huh. So then you came to this country and you married him, and you've been married now since, what, 1961?
Mm-hmm.
And you have two little Williams, Noel and Christian.
Yeah, you know everything.
No,
See,
not really.
You ask me a question and you know everything.
Well, my question to you, though, Claudine, is a very simple one. Now, you're a mother of two.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a very successful husband who's busy traveling all over the world. I would think you'd have your hands full without ever embarking on a singing career of your own.
Well, actually, it doesn't take a long time to make a record.
Uh-huh.
It's really a matter of finding songs which other people do for me.
Uh-huh.
And doing the record really takes like a day or two. And it gives me a lot of time for home and the children. And it's fun. I really love it very much.
Yeah, but now what's going to happen if the record becomes a big hit and you're suddenly in demand and this nightclub wants you and they want you to work in Las Vegas and what are you going to do then?
I'll panic and drop dead.
You'll panic and drop dead.
I think that's what I'll do.
What do you think your husband's reaction would be to that? Would he say, no career, you're going to stay home and be a housewife, or do you think he'd encourage you?
Oh, no, he's laughing about it because, he thinks it's fun.
Uh-huh.
As long as I don't have a hit, then I think he'll punch me on the nose. But he thinks it's fun.
What's it like being married to someone like Andy Williams? It must be almost like a storybook kind of a thing.
You'll never know.
Well, I know, for example, now your family, your mother and dad both being medical people, that your background certainly has to be entirely different than it is now. I mean, your life then was certainly different from anything it is now. You meet the top entertainment people in the world, and it must be kind of a storybook way of living.
Well, actually, at first it was a little strange because I couldn't speak English at all.
Uh-huh.
And my only relation with other people was through Andy all the time.
I see.
So I was very protected, way. You know, it was a way, I don't understand what did he say.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I didn't have to make an effort on my own. And because Andy was doing everything for me, you know, holding my hand tight.
Uh-huh.
So it worked out very well.
Claudine, when you met Andy, didn't you speak any English?
No. We talked with our hands and somehow my parents were not too thrilled about me marrying a singer because they had never heard of him. And living 10,000 miles away was a problem.
Uh-huh.
And they had no idea that he was a big star and, you know, somebody who could support me and make me happy and everything. So they made few objections. But then they met him and they really fell in love with him.
As soon as they met him, everything was all right.
Yeah.
Claudine, how old?
Andy, don't you?
Sure.
You like him?
Very much.
Good.
Very much indeed. How old are the children now?
3.5 and almost 2.
Do you think it's going to be difficult in the years that come raising your children, I don't know, and keeping them like regular children, keeping their perspectives for them with, after all, with movie stars walking in and out of your house, with their father being probably one of the best known people in most of the world. They never can go anywhere without their father, without his being recognized and so on. Do you ever worry about that and what it will do to the children?
No, not really, because at home we don't live the kind of life that perhaps you think we don't have people in and out of the house.
Uh-huh.
It's a very homey home, and we don't talk much about. I mean, Andy acts like a father when he comes home. He doesn't talk about the studio or songs or anything. He plays with them, and I don't think there's no really. It's a normal life, in other words. It's not a crazy life.
Claudine, if there's any spanking to do with the youngsters, do you wait until Andy comes home and then let him do
I do it by myself. Why then? Don't you?
Well, no, my wife saves it for me.
It's kind of a decision, though, to come home and you have to say hello and spank them at the same time, isn't it?
Yes, I think it should be the wife's job. Claudine, I wish you great success with your recording career.
Thank you, Chuck.
I like the record very much, and we're going to play it here in a second. And would you remember me to Andy? And it was certainly nice talking to you.
I will. It was nice talking to you, too.
All right, Jane.
Bye, Jack.
Bye-bye.